Hello, and welcome back to another episode. I am host Diksha, and you are listening to the show where we are breaking down complex technology topic into conversation you have actually follow. Today we are diving into something that quite listener powers to internet. As you know, we are talking about cloud virtualization tools. Seeing means students that space closely and has been some fantastic insight to share. Mansi, welcome to this show.
Thank you so much, Diksha. I'm genuinely thrilled to be here. Cloud virtualization is one of the those topics that sounds intimately at the first, but once you peel back the layers, it's actually incredibly logical and elegant. I hope today's conversation makes it feel the way for everyone listening.
I love this farming. Uh, Before we get into the technical stuff, let me ask you something personal. When did you first get interested in this area? Was there a light bulbs moment?
Honestly, yes, I was trying to set up the testing environment on my laptop for the project and I installed a virtual box for the first time. Within minutes, I had a fully working Linux system running inside my Windows machine. I remember thinking, wait, is this whole computer running inside another computer? That's moment how I even possible pulled me deep into the rabbit hole in virtualization and I never really came out.
That's such a relatable story. Okay, Mansi. For our listeners who are completely new to this, let's start from the very beginning. What exactly is virtualization like in a simplest term possible?
Uh, Great starting point. So think about the physical computer. It has a processor, some RAM, a hard drive, a network card. Virtualization is basically a technology that let you pretend that one physical machine is actually multiple separate machines. You create what we call virtual machines or VMs. On each VM behaves as its own independent computer with the own operating system, its own software, its own files, but they will be sharing all underlying physical hardwares.
So it's like splitting one pie into multiple slices, and each person thinks they have their own pies.
That's actually a perfect analogy. Each person get the slice and experiences. Is it full pie? That's they can see or touch anyone else's slice. That's the beauty of isolation. Each VM is completely walled off from the others, and this changes everything for business because instead of buying 10 physical servers, you can buy one powerful server and run 10 virtual machines on it.
Okay. Massive cost saving, right this, but I am curious why was not it's done for the beginnings of laptop computers? Was the technology no there?
That's really thoughtful question. Actually, virtualization concept go back from 1960s. IBM was doing time sharing on mainframes, which is primitive type of idea, but it really become practical and widespread in 2000, where hardware got fast enough and cheap enough that the overhead of virtualization didn't hurt performance significantly. VMware was the big pointer here in the late 90s and early 20s, making virtualization accessible for mainstream data centers.
So this technology has been cooked for detecting, and these big movements came into the cloud computing boom.
Exactly, cloud computing and virtualization are really inseparable. When you sign up for a cloud service or sign up for a virtual server in seconds, that's virtualization working at a massive scale. The cloud providers has enormous physical machines in their data centers, and virtualization is the magic that let them crave those machines into thousands of virtual servers and rent them out for different customers, all securely isolated from each other.
Okay, so the cloud isn't really floating somewhere in a sky, is a row and row of physical services with virtualization technology slicing them them in intelligently.
Preciously, the cloud is very much physical. It just virtualization creates a beautiful abstraction layer on top of it. You don't deal with the hardware. You just ask for server with certain specs and it appears. The complexity is hidden from you.
Okay, so we established that virtualization is a why it is a matter. Now we are coming across these terms. Term hypervisor. Lots were reading about this topic. It sounds very sky, which is hypervisor and why it is centrally to all of this.
It does sound very scary, doesn't it? The hypervisor is a software that makes virtualization happen. Think of a conductor or an orchestra. A physical hardware is all the instruments, and the virtual machines are the musicians. The hypervisor conducts everything. It decides the how much CPU each VM gets, then how much memory, how much disk access. It constantly managing and abbreviating between competing demands from different virtual machines.
Okay, and I believe there are two types of hypervisors. Can you break down this?
Yes, absolutely. So we have type 1 and type 2 hypervisor, and there is differences really about where they sit in the system. First one is type 1 hypervisor, which is also called as bare metal hypervisor. It runs directly on the physical hardware. There is no operating system or underneath. It is operating system in a sense. This makes it incredibly efficient and fast. VMware EXXI is a classic example here, and it is why you will find the professional data centers and enterprise environments.
So type 1 is a seriously production grade option.
Exactly, and then type 2 is the more accessible everyday option. It runs on the top of the regular operating systems, so you can install like other applications. You have Windows on Macs running normally, and then you install type 2 hypervisor like Oracle Virtual VMbox or VMware Workstation on top of it. It is slower than type 1 because there is extra layer. Your host OS is between, but it's easy to set up, perfect for developers, beginners, students, and test types who want to experiment without any dedicated hardware.
Okay, that's really a clear discussion. Uh, it allows like type 1 is a professional kitchen in the restaurant and type 2 is a kitchen in your home. Both cook food, but one is built for scaling and one is for performance.
Oh, I love your analogy. I'm stealing that. And the key thing the hypervisor ensures beyond just performance is isolation and security. Each VM is sandboxed, so even one VM gets infected with malware or crashes completely, it does not spill over the other VMs on the same physical machines. That critical requirement is the multi-tenant cloud environment where many different customers share the same physical hardware.
Okay, so the hypervisor is really security boundary as per the performance management. That's a lot of responsibility for one of the piece of the software.
It really is, and because of that, hypervisor are some of the most carefully engineered and rigorously tested software in existence. A bug in hypervisor that allows a VM to read another VM's memory, that would be the catastrophic for the cloud provider. So, enormous resources go into making the secure and robust.
Okay, let's talk about specific tool now. You mentioned in VirtualBox earlier. That was your entire point into the world. You can tell us more about it, why it is so popular, especially for people starting out.
VirtualBox is maintained by Oracle and it is completely free and open source. That alone makes it incredibly attractive. You can download it, install it within minutes, and you can run it on the virtual machine. It supports all the major host operating system, Windows, Macs, Linux, even iOS too, and you can create guest VMs running almost many different OS versions of Windows, Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, and old agency system if you need them.
Okay, that's a huge productivity and cost win. What are the some of the standouts features of VirtualBox specifically?
A few really shine for snapshots. This is one of the absolute favorite features. You can take a snapshot of VM any moment, and it's likely hitting a save point in a video game. The snapshot capture the complete states, the OS, all installed software, open files, even configuration or installing some sketchy software. You can take snapshot first. If something breaks, you just roll back in snapshot instantly.
Okay, that sounds almost too good to be a true. It's like a time travel from your computer.
Computer time travel exactly. And another key feature is probability of OVF and OVA formats. These are standardized file formats that package a virtual machine, including on configuration and disk contents, into a single file or archive. You can export your VM or OVA file, send it to the college or move to the different machine, and they can import it and have exact same environment. This is a huge collaboration work or for distributing development environmenting team. Uh, so that's all.
Okay, so instead of saying it's working on my machine, you just send a machine to them.
Yes, the infamous developer executively finally has answer, and VirtualBox also has cloud integration capabilities. You can think it with the cloud services, export VMs to the cloud, which makes it nice bridge between a local development and a cloud deployment. And it's not just a toy for testing; it's serious tool for developers workflow. We can say.
Okay, are there another tools in the same space that listeners should know even at the high level?
Definitely, VMware Workstation is a premium alternative to VirtualBox. It costs money but offers better performance and more enterprise features. If VirtualBox is reliably family car, VMware Workstation is the sports car. That's there. Also, Microsoft Hypervisor V, which is built right into Windows, then particularly Windows 10 or 11 Pro edition. So, if you are already on the Windows, you have hypervisor built-in, and the Mac OS parallelly extremely popular, especially the people who want to run Windows apps seamlessly alongside Mac OS.
Okay, let's zoom out to the enterprise and cloud scale now. When we talk about massive platform like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, what does the virtualization looks like at the scale?
At that scale, everything we talked about the simplified factors of thousands or millions AWS uses virtualization power. It's AC2 service that stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, where you can launch the EC2 instance. You are getting a virtual machine running on one AWS physical server somewhere in one of the data centers around the world. Uh, Amazon has largely moved to their own custom solution called the Nitro system, which offers many virtualization tasks to dedicated hardware, giving near bare metal performance.
Okay, so they build their own customer hardware level virtualization. That's a serious investment.
Massive investment, but it pays off at the scale. Now, terms of enterprise tools, VMware, vSphere is a gold standard. It is full platform, not just a hypervisor, but a complete infrastructure management suite that organization use to manage clusters of physical servers, handle VM migration, then between servers, manage storage networking. The whole stack, it's what the large enterprises run in the private data centers.
And what about open source option at the level? Not everyone can offer VMware license.
Great question. KVM, which stands for kernel based virtual machine, is a dominant open source alternative. It is actually built into the Linux kernel, which means any modern Linux like server can act as a type 1 hypervisor using KVM. It's what cloud providers, including running AWS and Google Cloud use under the hood. It incredibly powerful and completely free, paired with those like key, QEMU, then hardware emulation for management. You can get a production grade virtualization tax without spending a rupee on license.
Okay, exactly. Now, what advice would you give to the someone who want to start learning about this field? Where should they are beginning?
My honest advice, just start with the VirtualBox, download it, install it, create a virtual machine, experiment, give yourself a mission. I will have Ubuntu Linux running inside my Windows laptop tonight. Once you have done it, that the concept of hypervisor isolation snapshots, they all click into a place because you have experienced the first hand from Explore KVM. If you want to deeper into Linux, try for AWS free tier to cloud virtualization in actions.
Beautifully said, Mansi. Thank you so much for being here. You make a complex topic feel completely approximate and even exactly. And to everyone listeners, thank you for your turning it. If you found this episode valuable, share it. Someone who is crucially about how technology works. Will you see in the next one? Stay
Okay.
tuned.
I just want to say that every time you stream a video, send a message, use app on your phone, then there is a virtual machine somewhere doing like heavy lifting for you. Virtualization is usual to most of people, but generally it is a backbone of a digital world. Understanding it doesn't mean like you are a better technologist. It makes a more informed citizen. So the world of virtualization is endlessly fascinating, and it absolutely has a future. Okay.
Okay, thank you.